Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Etheria restart video. So in today's video, guys, we're going to be going over some beginner tips and tricks. This is some stuff that I wish I kind of would have known going in for some of these things, but also some of it's very straightforward, and it's just for people who are going to be picking up the game come global launch. So for the people playing the closed beta right now pretty actively, a lot of this stuff is going to be, things that you guys know, but this is more so for the people that are going to be picking up the game here in about a month or so for global launch. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first thing is you are going to be following the hyperlink charter, which is on the left here, or it's in your main menu right here. This is, the player progression that the game dictates that you should be going in. A lot of games have this now, which is really great because it shows you kind of what you're supposed to be doing, why you're stuck, all of that stuff, because there's a lot of things to do in the game. So yeah, you definitely want to follow this. There's a bunch of different modes, like a basic progression. Then you have an animus one, which is, kind of focused around your main SSR that the game gives you. It's your main DPS at the beginning of the game. Then they have stuff, revolving around gear, then shells, and then arena. The arena game mode unlocks at level 25. So as soon as your account level, which is in the top left, unlocks at level 25, then you can get additional goodies here as well. So that's nice. All right, now talking about your account level. Your account level is really important if you want to try and get maximum value, like from an efficiency standpoint, because this is whenever things will unlock. This is normal in most gacha games like this as well. The way that you level up your account is a couple different ways, okay? The first one is if you see your meter up here, it tells you when you will advance to the next level. So at 440 XP, we will then move into level 28. I'm at 125 right now. The ways that you get more experience is just by burning your stamina. So if I were to burn 30 stamina, this would go up 30 experience points. So that's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is by doing your daily and weekly quests. Every time you complete some missions, it gives you some hyperlink XP. So this is 100 XP. This is a lot, right? Because we just saw burning 30 stamina only gives me 30 XP. So if I do the daily, not only do I get other goodies, right? I do also get the player XP. So your weekly quests as well, they're going to give you tons of XP along the way. It's just you have different progression rewards right now. The first one that I'm going to get is, some summons. But then it progresses, and eventually you'll get some player XP. Now, your stamina in your daily quests give you, I think, 1 stamina refill per day. And then the weekly quests, I think, give you 2 stamina refills. These, I think you should use later. You're going to want to use your gems, your premium currency, for stamina because you only get 10 refills a day. It's not uncapped. So once that is done, then you're going to use up your stamina boosters, or mental stabilizers as they call them, to continue progressing. But unlocking your account levels is going to just make the world of difference for progression. So you want to maximize the amount of stamina that you're using per day if you guys want to maximize your efficiency. You just play the game at your pace. You don't need to be burning your gems. However, the game does give you tons of gems and tons of summons at the beginning, so you don't need to be using your gems on the summons. Okay? Now, a big thing that I wish that I would have known, so your challenge mode here and your main quest, this is your story mode. These are things that you're going to, be doing as you progress, and also your story mode unlocks more content. But the thing that I wish I knew, so in the story mode, the game has chests available for you to open that you need to find. And in these chests, there are items. And you see here, I found this chest, but I missed this chest. Now, you would think that that normally isn't a big deal. The problem is, and I know there's already been suggestions on the Etheria Restart, Discord to remove this, but I have to pay stamina to go back in here and find this chest. So that's kind of a bummer that I have to spend stamina to go back in now and get a beginner chest, which there wasn't probably a whole lot of value here. But if you see, if you don't want to miss any of the chests, you can look up at your map here in the top left corner, and it shows you that you have, a number of chests left. This is a very good indicator. Oh, okay, I need to go back and I need to explore more to make sure, that I don't miss a chest. So I'm going to go find this chest and I'll be right back. Okay, so I found it. Now, the other thing is if you want to check your map, it kind of shows you where the chests are. So that's another easy tip for you guys. And yeah, like I said, there's some goodies in there, so you don't want to miss them. They might be summons. Like here, I missed 3 summons early on. So yeah, there you go. So we can back on out of here and continue on with our little tips. So now if we go back in here, you'll see that I ended up getting the chest. Now, the other thing that's kind of important to that is there are achievements that are tied to this. So because I found all 5 chests in Chapter 1, now I get more Hydra Crystals. So you see here, I've already missed chests. I have to go back in and collect all of these things whenever I'm done with this video. But yeah, you don't want to miss out on those. You don't want to spend the additional stamina if you don't need to go back in. That's kind of a bummer. Hopefully they take that out, but if they don't, you know now that you shouldn't miss those chests. Okay? Now, the next tip is as you're doing your hyperlink charter, there's going to be things where it tells you to, let's see here. It's going to tell you to defeat like hard Terramaton or acquire certain shells. The thing that you don't want to do is whenever you're completing these missions, you don't want to over farm these lower stages. Mainly because you're going to be able to progress a lot farther in these dungeons than you think. And as you progress further and further, the value of not only the gear, but also the shells is going to increase. So you don't want to over farm these shells. They're okay, but once you start unlocking, let's say Fabian here for shells, and you're unlocking, like the unique or yellow shells, the effects are just absolutely insane in comparison to the unique shells. So these are unique shells, and then these are, I forget what these are called. They're not legendary. They're called something else. Epic. Yes. So you have unique and then you have epic. So the epic shells are crazy. Not only do they give you better effects, they give you better stats, and they give you more matrices to pair with your gear. This is something that I made a separate video on. But when you are building your characters with your modules, which is your gear, they have these little matrix icons. And that's how you see if you get those additional bonuses here. So you see, I have a harvest set piece here, which has 2 matrices, but somehow I have 4 of those matrices being accounted for. The reason being is my shell also has 2 harvest matrix icons. That's how I get that. So that's what I was talking about. The higher level matrices, shells also have the ability to get more of these matrices than, say your lower level shells, your unique shells. You see, this shell only has 2 icons in one module matrix. So it's not as applicable as the higher level shells. So you don't want to overfarm those lower levels. It's just going to be useless for you. Same goes into, your modules. If you can clear Nightmare 1, you want to farm Nightmare 1, even if it takes you longer, because you're dropping some of these higher level gear pieces instead of just, the lower level pieces. This stuff will taper off. I think everyone knows that, but I do just want to mention that. So, the things that you're actually going to be farming the most is investigation, which is your Animus XP, and then also GP Outpost, which is your prowess. What these are tied to your Animus. So your experience is very straightforward. It takes you from level 21 to 45. The prowess, though, this is something that a lot of people kind of miss. Each of your characters have their individual increases to their skills. Some go to level 5, I think. Okay, all must go to level 5. Yeah, all go to level 5. And you require specific items, which we're going to talk about here in a second. But as you're leveling up to that skill upgrade, you get additional stats along the way. And you don't need any specific items to do this other than the materials that you can farm in GP Outpost, which are these little imprints. Okay? This is really, really important. You are going to want to upgrade your characters' main stats here until they get to this bottleneck, which is the item that we'll talk about here in a second. But every single character is going to want the initial first stat boost. If you look here, this is 10% to this character's attack. On top of that, she's getting another 125 base attack. This is extremely easy to farm stuff too. Same thing goes for defense and HP. This is where you're going to be living. You're going to be living and farming these imprints to get these free base stats to allow for your characters to progress. So GP Outpost, you can farm your color specific depending on your character, whether they're light, dark, green, blue, or red. And then when it comes to your investigation, the higher levels, the better, but these are tied to completing the main story mode. The reason why this is important, not just for your character's experience, but also for these things called imprints, these shadow prints. This is what allows for the largest amount of stat boost to your characters. So if you take a look at your Animus here, right, they have their levels. So Freya is level 21. Buffing her up to level 31, it's going to be important, but the amount of stat boost is not going to be that drastic. So what I want to show you is I want to show you, let's level up this character, because I think I'm going to use him in a dungeon. So when I upgrade him from level 1 to level 35, these are his base stats. When we upgrade him to level 35, his stats go up, an okay amount. About 90 on the attack. His HP got a decent boost. So, not terrible, right? Now, whenever you upgrade his star level from 3-star to 4-star, this is where you need these imprints. So, from 3-star to 4-star, you need the 3-star imprints. So you can upgrade this, and then look, you get even more stat boosts here. So from 0 to 35, he got, 90? And then just by increasing his level, he got 62. And then it's even more drastic from 4 to 5. So here, if we do another star upgrade, we need 4 of these orange shadow prints. So this is a big boost, right? Another nice boost. Like the HP alone is almost 1,000. So that's where that is going to come into play. Now from 4 to 5 star, or 5 to 6 star, you need these red shadow prints. But the reason why farming investigation is important is you can craft upward. So you can take all of those blue imprints that are farmable, and you can craft them up into your red shadow prints. So even though I don't have any yellows, I just wasted, right? And I still have a little bit of purple, I can craft 54 of the 71 shadow, the lowest rarity imprints I have, the blue shadow prints, and I can still make 1 of these red shadow prints. So yeah, that's why you're going to be living in investigation, because this is the possible drop, right? The higher the level, the more likely the better drops. Okay? All right, and then last but not least are just key items that you want to look out for. The only thing that is truly important in this game, there's 2 items, and that is lattices, which we kind of touched on briefly, which is the skill upgrades. That is what's key in this game. If you have a bunch of just SSR characters and they all have level 1 skills, like, they're going to be usable, but if you just look at Freya here, the chance of her inflicting something goes up drastically, her multiplier goes up drastically, and she increases the damage boost and healing effect of Nightmare to 15% instead of 12%. Like, these are things that truly matter for your characters. It also reduces skill cooldowns, which is a big one. I think a lot of people who are playing the game will initially be like, man, my skill 3, like my ultimate, is taking forever to come back around. This is a big deal. Or my skill 2, to give myself a little bit more sustain with that defense buff, it's taking way too long. On top of that, like, this Dreamweave is really important. You see, it's a 35% chance to apply that, but if it's skilled up, it goes up to 80. Like, this is drastic. This is what matters. Acquiring more characters and, having additional copies of them, it's going to help, but it is nowhere near as important as skilling up your character's actual skills. So that's why lattices are very, very important. And then the other thing that is important is the reconfigure chip. These are the 2 items that you really want to be stingy with. You don't want to waste them. They're going to be in very short supply. You can buy them in, for real currency, or you can get them every once in a while by, weekly resets on shops, monthly resets on shops, and things like that. You can also get pieces. This is from a shop, so if you get 50 of these perfect lattices, that's what's going to allow you to do that. The reconfigure chip, this is to allow for getting new passives on your shells. I'm going to have a more in-depth guide, like a beginner's guide. It's going to be very, very long. But when it comes to upgrading your shells, they actually get passives. So you'll see here, this hero has 2 passives. So it increases the Animus's defense by 6%. And then the other passive is penetration, where it increases the Animus's crit rate by 4%. You can re-roll these. So if you want to re-roll them, you can reconfigure. Now these lower level shells, unique and lower, right, purple and lower, to reconfigure and re-roll the passive is only experience, okay? These materials. Whenever you bump up and you're trying to reconfigure the passive effects of the higher level shells like Epic, this is where it's going to take these reconfigured chips. The passives are going to be a big deal. This second passive is one of the areas where you get speed, anywhere from 4 to 14 points. So you're going to be re-rolling a lot. You're going to try and high roll these passives. So you're really going to want to hold on to these chips. You don't want to use them willy-nilly. You're really going to want to wait until you get the perfect kind of shells. Do not re-roll your passives on your shells. That is going to just kill your account. Yeah, I think that's all I have. I'd say the only other thing is, obviously, if people are not into Arena, I hate to tell you this, you're going to have to play it. You're going to have to play Arena. The nice thing is you only have to challenge it. You don't need to win, but this currency is going to be very key for you. The shops are really, really helpful. As you see here, lattices are here. They restock, I think, on a weekly or monthly basis. So you want to be farming Arena so you can get these lattices. It's going to be a huge deal. Outside of that, one of the other nice things is it allows you to buy up your Etheria coin. This is how you level up your modules, so your gear. This is a huge boost to an account if you're spending your Etheria coin to get, if you're spending your Arena currency to get Etheria coin, this really helps you level up your gear without getting stuck. The Summon Arena, this is also real-time Arena. You can get a lot of stuff in here for free. All you have to do is play the Arena. You just have to participate, right? Participating gets you these items. This is something that I think refreshes every reset. You have your rank up rewards. This also resets at the start of the season. At least that's the way it's worded. So maybe you just reach bronze for the first time and you get 200 and a free summon, and then that's all you do. Maybe you don't win anymore, but at least you got those items. The rank rewards are whatever. Ranking rewards, I know most of us aren't going to do that. But even then, that shop is important. It has shadow prints. It has Etheria coin. It has LD summons. You need to do it. Even if you're not going to win, you need to participate in it. All right. Anyway, this video's too long. It's not supposed to be a beginner's guide. It's supposed to be a tips and tricks. That's all I got for you. Hope you enjoyed. Catch you on the next one. See ya.